What's up everybody, this is Scott with Team 512 and I'm back with another video. Today we have a very special guest rolling into the Team 512 garage. That's right, it is YellowVette04's YellowVette. And as you can see, we already took the hood off. We're gonna put a cam inside of this LS1 this weekend in the Team 512 garage. I know, it's a big job. We have a few days to work on it, and then Monday morning, we're heading over to Complete Street in Westchester, Pennsylvania to get this thing tuned. I think we're gonna be able to knock this out pretty easily. What do you think, buddy?
Oh, that's why I brought it here. You told me you're an expert at this type of thing.
Yeah, see, confidence all over the place. All right, so we're about to bring the YellowVette into the garage and begin the teardown in order to install the cam, and we've already taken the hood off. We've done that for 3 reasons. Number 1, so we can get better camera angles for you guys. Number 2, so we can get better access to the engine. And number 3, so I can put the lift all the way up in the air without the hood hitting the ceiling. All right, you guys, I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but the coolant is draining right now into that big red bucket. And then while that's draining, we're gonna go ahead and remove all of the intake pieces and some of the other stuff at the front of the engine. So we're gonna get on that right now. We've been busy taking some parts off the car, as you can see. Check this out, guys. So we've got the intake off, we've got the water pump out, and we also took the sway bar off as well, and the radiator shroud. So let me just show you what we've done. We've taken the alternator off here and we've unhooked the steering rack. And guys, it's very important, make sure if you ever disconnect your steering, you're gonna have to make sure that your steering wheel doesn't turn. So we just disconnected the power steering lines. Check this out. I think you can see this down in there. See those 2 holes on the power steering pump? So anyway, we've just pulled those out using a swivel socket and this crow's foot right here to kind of break it loose. We also had an 18mm flare nut wrench that we initially used to break the line loose. And then it's, you know, it's tedious in order to get it out. At least it was for us. We are taking a break for dinner. We're really close here to getting the steering rack out. But you see this? All over, and yeah, that right there, that's power steering fluid. The rack is loose, it's free. One thing you don't want to do is push the hydraulics in when the lines are disconnected, because it's gonna spray power steering fluid everywhere. All right, so I won't bore you too much, but we just finished eating some dinner and drinking water. That's what we drink. We drink water when we're working on cars. We don't drink beer or any of those other type of beverages. It's purely water. So we just got done eating. We're gonna wrap up here and we're gonna head back to the Team 512 garage. And I'm hoping to get the steering rack out of the car and maybe we pull the damper off, the balancer, before we go to bed tonight. That way tomorrow morning, we can start in with the cam extraction. So stay tuned for that. All right, you guys, we finally got the power steering rack out of the car. Now, we originally tried to get it out the passenger side of the car, but that just did not work. The steering box was having some trouble passing through some of those areas. You can see it right here. There is the steering box. We ended up reversing course and extracting it out of the driver's side, and we pried the subframe down just a little bit, maybe about 1 inch or so, and we were able to slip it right out. So far that has been the most difficult part, getting the steering rack out. The next thing to do is get this bolt out and try to get this dampener off. I'm happy to report we just pulled the crank bolt out with the Husky pneumatic impact driver here, and the 24mm socket. And it took a little coercing, but it actually came out not too bad. It wasn't too bad at all. Looky what we got here. That's right, we just got the dampener off the front of the C5, and it wasn't too difficult. We had, of course, the 3-jaw puller here. So the next step, of course, is just removing the timing cover and opening this thing up. You can see here we now have the cam cover off. We have got a couple water pump bolts in the cam. We're not ready to move anything yet. We're taking the rockers off. You can see the rockers are off on the passenger side. Dave's pulling the rockers off on the driver's side. I'm pulling the rods out now. We will not be reusing these rods. Otherwise, I would keep them in the order that they came out. Over here you can see the rockers. All right, so once we get both sides of the rockers out, we are going to, and of course the rods, we're going to use these dowels to hold the lifters up, so when we pull the cam, we don't have anything falling down into the engine. And there we go.
There we go.
Ah, there it is.
And there's one
out.
stock LS1 cam.
Nice work, buddy.
There it is.
It's out.
It's out.
We got the cam out of the car, and yeah, now it's time to just reverse the process.
Yeah, exactly.
We got 5 more hours. It'll be 3 in the morning. We'll be all done. It'll be a record. No, actually, I think we're gonna go chill out. What do you think?
Yeah.
Huh?
I think so. Chilling out's good. Maybe we'll take the valve springs out.
Oh, come on, man.
All right, let's drink some beers.
It's time to chill. Good morning, everybody. It is day 2 of the cam install on YellowVette04's YellowVette, and he was up very late into the night. Of course, I was sleeping, but he started the trunnion upgrade. You can see here, and I think we're almost finished with the trunnion upgrade, but we're about to get the new cam inside of this LS1. All right, guys, that is a BTR Stage 2 cam, and we're doing a lot of the accompanying upgrades, like the timing chain and a new oil pump and gaskets and seals and that sort of thing. And then once we get that all assembled, we are going to work on replacing the valve springs here. And we're hoping tonight we're gonna do the first fire up of Dave's car, and we might just live stream it, which means, well, you'll already see the live stream before you see this video, so we're gonna get to work. And I forgot to mention, we have Greg over here, who is our technical advisor. And Greg, you did some work to your C6 recently, right?
Yeah, I rebuilt the whole top end of the motor, rocker arm bearing. A couple of them blow up on me, so I had to tear apart the top end. Yeah, a lot of work.
Yeah, so we've got some experience in this garage to help us with the reassembly. Greg was nice enough to come over this morning and bring us breakfast burritos, which was pretty amazing. So just to catch you guys up with where we are right now, the cam is in and the cam retainer is back on, so the cam won't fall out of the car. We're about to put the cam sprocket back on and a brand new LS2 timing chain. Things are moving and shaking here in the Team 512 garage. Check this out, you guys. The oil pump is on. The new timing chain is on, and obviously the cam sprocket or cam gear is on. Everything's torqued to spec. We're gonna go ahead and put the cover timing cover on, and we're gonna have to start addressing this balancer soon. And in order to do that, we've got to lock up the flywheel, which means we're probably gonna have to remove some or all of the exhaust actually, in order to get the starter out. And there's a special tool, actually it's right here, that will replace the starter, and these teeth here will lock in with the teeth of the flywheel, so that when we go to torque down the bolt on the crank, we don't spin the engine. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do next. All right, you guys, welcome to day 3 of the cam install in the YellowVette behind me. Now, I want to keep you guys updated because a lot has happened since my last video. We finally have the whole engine put back together except for the radiator. So let me show you the progress and a little bit of the issue that we ran into. And we're gonna have to make a decision here because tomorrow at 10 a.m. this car is going to Complete Street in Westchester to get tuned. We haven't started it yet, but let me show you the progress. Everything is back together. As you can see, we have the new balancer down there, or dampener. We have the water pump back on. Obviously the belts are back on, and the nightmare steering rack is back in. That really was the worst part of this job. Now, we have not changed out the valve springs yet, and I'm gonna show you why. So when you do a cam install, a cam upgrade, it's a great idea to upgrade valve springs to these heavier duty dual valve springs. And you can see there's a smaller spring inside of the larger spring. And these retainers that go on top, the ones that were included with the kit, sit on top of the larger spring just fine. But the problem is with the smaller spring, they don't seat properly inside of the smaller spring. See how that kind of moves around? Well, we were able to get one on, let me show you here, but we had to apply a little bit of pressure with the vise. And once we applied a little pressure and compressed the spring, the retainer popped into place pretty well. It's not in there too terribly hard. I mean, I can probably flip it up with my thumb and pop it out. We basically just decided to go with the valve springs that were sent to Dave from BTR. It turns out they really only have one valve spring set for this, and I can't imagine that if somebody wasn't having issues with this valve spring set with those retainers, that we wouldn't have heard of it by now. So there's a lot of trust and faith in BTR, and so in turn we're gonna trust that they sent the right kit, and everything's going together fine.
Bro.
What?
Broheen. My coil ain't plugged in, Broheen. Who was supposed to plug in the coil pack?
All right, start the car.
Who was supposed
Start
to
the car.
plug in? So we were only running.
Come on, start the car. I was just trying to add some drama to the thing.
Ready?
Yeah, buddy. Give her. Ooh. Ooh. We gotta get this thing outside. Sounds good.
Sounds good.
For 3 seconds. You're gonna have a hell of a time driving this thing over tomorrow. Oh, you just go, let her go. Yeah, this is gonna suck for you. All right, everybody, it is day 4. We're getting ready to head out to Complete Street to get this beast tuned. We slept good last night, I think, knowing that we got the work all done and it's ready to go. Yeah, we might have some hood alignment issues. We'll fix those when we get back. Success! That sounds like success. All right, we're gonna jump in the cars and take off. We are officially on our way to Complete Street. We're gonna take it easy on the drive over there just to make sure everything kind of breaks in properly on Dave's car. Yeah, we don't want to go too nuts. It's still pretty chilly out here, probably close to 40 degrees right now. Yeah, I mean the car's running. He's moving. It's moving forward. I wonder how it feels for him. Maybe once we get moving here a little bit, I'll give him a call and see what he says. What's up, buddy?
Driving.
How's it driving?
It's driving all right. I'm driving it like in first, second, and third most of the way.
I mean, does it feel any different, or you can't really tell?
No, like when the few times that I went over like 2,000 or 2,500, it pulls a lot harder than it used to.
You can feel that for sure?
Yeah.
But Dyno says there's more power, so then there's more power, right? Oh, where do you get that Cam sticker on your car? Once you put that sticker on your car, that's like 20, 25 more horsepower, I think. All right, guys, we made it to Complete Street. You see the Freedom Rocket back there. They're gonna pull the YellowVette in, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully those retainers and valve springs don't give us a problem, but we'll give it a try and see. Never had one lesson. All right, so a little bit of an update here, and it's not good. I mean, Andrew's in the car. He's gonna put a bass tune in it, but we can't run it on the dyno the way it is right now because even Brian Tooley Racing tech support said don't run those retainers on those springs. So I'm not really sure what we're ultimately gonna do, but I think we're gonna put a bass tune in the car and then roll it back to my house. We still need to get back on the line with Brian Tooley Racing to see if they can overnight the correct springs and retainers to us. So we are taking our chances, I guess, a little bit in driving it the way it is right now, but I think with a bass tune and Dave's keen ability to kind of limp this thing back to my house, back to my garage, it might be okay. And if we can get that other spring kit in the car, he can at least drive it home and then figure out the next steps for a full dyno tune. So all right, so we made it back to the garage, and Dave is staying another day at Casa de Team 512. He was able to get a hold of Brian Tooley Racing, and they are overnighting a new set of valve springs and retainers. Actually, the whole kit is coming tomorrow before 10:30 a.m. So they are making good on this little mix-up. So that is a good thing. We got the bass tune in the YellowVette, and tomorrow morning when those springs and the rest of the kit come in, Dave is going to replace them. This was quite the project. We've done this now one time, Cam in an LS1, and I'm feeling pretty confident about going through this process another time if I have to. You know, you learn some tips and tricks along the way, and it was great to be able to spend so much time with Dave and the YellowVette. And tomorrow with the new springs, retainers, Dave is gonna make it safely home, back to his house, and he'll have to come back to get the full tune. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I know there's tons of great car content on YouTube, great Corvette content, so any time you spend on my channel is greatly appreciated. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and leave me some comments. You guys know I love interacting with people who love cars and Corvettes just as much as I do. Till next time.
See ya.